Hello everyone. Nice to see you again at Flower Care, where we share our orchid care experiences, helping the orchids stay green, healthy, and bloom brightly. Today, I will continue to share with you the method of reviving an almost exhausted orchid completely using natural nutrients. The plant will recover quickly, become healthy, and grow steadily, ready to bloom again in a short time. Let's get started. Before you is an orchid in a very critical state. The cause may come from many factors, but mainly due to the changing of seasons, when the plant is already weak, combined with improper care, creating conditions for insects and mold to attack, making the plant even more exhausted. As you can see, the leaves have turned yellow, the flower stalks have dried up, and the green leaves have become wrinkled and lifeless. These are signs that the plant is calling for help. If we do not handle it promptly, the plant is at risk of dying completely. Some of the leaves of the plant were rotten, with black spots, a clear sign of attack from insects and mold. Therefore, we need to completely remove these damaged leaves to prevent the disease from spreading to healthy parts and create conditions for the plant to recover and grow again. As the leaves appear wrinkled and lifeless, the cause may be related to lack of water. Therefore, the problem in the growing medium cannot be ignored. We need to check carefully to ensure the growing environment is suitable for the plant to recover. Most of the tree's roots have rotted black and completely lost vitality. This is a serious condition. If not treated properly, the tree may not have a chance to recover. Next, I will use sharp scissors to cut the top of the plant away from the base, completely removing the damaged parts. If we do not promptly treat the fungal diseases in the roots, they will quickly spread to the trunk and top of the tree. At that time, the tree will completely lose its ability to revive, because the green top is the premise for life, for the tree to recover and grow again. Next, we will cut off all the withered tissue from the stem and flower stalks. This helps the plant concentrate nutrients on the living parts, thereby recovering more quickly and healthily. After pruning, we will thoroughly clean the orchid tip with clean water to remove dirt and remaining pathogens, creating the best conditions for the revival process. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to click the like and subscribe buttons to support me, and don't miss any useful orchid care tips. I'm happy to accompany you on the journey of nurturing and conquering the beauty of orchid pots. Next, we will use a soft, clean towel to wipe off any remaining water droplets on the leaves and stems of the orchid. This not only prevents mold from growing back, but also helps the leaves to be more airy, thereby allowing the plant to photosynthesize effectively, absorbing energy and nutrients better. Next, I will prepare the materials to disinfect the orchid to completely remove any remaining pathogens, creating a clean and safe foundation for the plant to revive strongly. Here, I will use a fresh lemon, a very familiar ingredient in every family's kitchen, but plays an important role as a natural medicine to disinfect and protect orchids from pathogens. I will cut half a lemon, then squeeze and filter it through a wire to remove the seeds. The resulting juice will be used as a natural disinfectant solution for orchids, both safe and effective. Add about 500 milliliters of clean water to the lemon juice to dilute the solution. This helps reduce the acid concentration, avoiding shocking the orchid when used. Stir well and let it rest for 15 minutes. This helps the essence in the lemon work better, increases the ability to kill bacteria, and stimulates the orchid to absorb nutrients. After about 15 minutes, the lemon juice has completely dissolved, becoming a natural antiseptic solution ready to use for orchids. At this point, we pour the solution into a small cup and soak the entire orchid tip for about 30 minutes. Lemon juice not only helps to clean and gently disinfect, but also adds vitamin C, helping the leaves to quickly recover and regain vitality. After soaking for about 30 minutes, carefully remove the orchid from the solution, place it in a dry, airy place, and prepare for the next recovery steps. Next, I will prepare the ingredients to make fertilizer for orchids. In this step, I will use an aloe vera leaf, a familiar natural ingredient, both safe and rich in nutrients, especially useful in restoring and stimulating orchid growth. Next, I will cut the aloe vera leaves into small pieces. This makes the processing more convenient and also makes it easier to extract the maximum nutrients from the aloe vera to supplement the orchid. Then, I will apply a layer of aloe vera gel evenly to the entire top of the orchid. Aloe vera gel helps disinfect, heal cuts, and at the same time adds natural nutrients, creating conditions for the plant to quickly recover and grow healthily. What country are you watching this video from? Let me know in the comments below. It's great to be able to connect and share our passion for orchids from all over the world. Next step, I will put all the chopped aloe vera into a clean jar. The next ingredient I use is oats, a nutrient-rich grain that works wonders in providing natural nutrition, helping orchids recover and develop healthy roots. I add 2 spoons of oatmeal to the aloe vera jar to enhance nutrients, helping the orchid roots recover and grow healthily. Add 500 milliliters of clean water to the bottle. Water helps to dissolve and extract the maximum nutrients in aloe vera and oats, helping to create a nutrient-rich solution for the orchid to absorb. After stirring the mixture well, cover the jar tightly and let it sit for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, the nutrients from aloe vera and oats blend completely into the water, creating a nutritious natural fertilizer solution for orchids. Next, we filter the mixture through a sieve and a clean cloth to completely remove the residue. This helps the fertilizer solution to be smoother, easily penetrate the leaves and stems of the orchid, and at the same time avoid clogging or bacterial contamination on the surface of the plant. I will squeeze the aloe vera and oatmeal residue thoroughly to make the most of the remaining nutrients. This method helps the resulting solution to be more nutritious, providing the best recovery and nourishment for the orchid plant. After completing all the above steps, we have obtained a natural, clean, and nutrient-rich nutrient solution. At this point, the solution is ready to be used directly on the orchid, supporting the recovery process and promoting healthy plant growth again. Now, I will use a soft cotton pad, soak it in the nutrient solution I just mixed, then gently wipe it all over the orchid tip. This method helps the plant absorb nutrients directly through the leaves and stems, while limiting the stagnant water that causes fungal diseases. When cleaned and soaked in nutrients, the leaves will become more airy, photosynthesize better, from which the plant will quickly recover its vitality, sprout new shoots, and grow strongly again. Next step, I will continue to soak the entire base of the orchid shoot in this solution for about 30 minutes. Soaking the base helps the young roots and tissues at the base to directly absorb nutrients, both mildly disinfecting and stimulating the formation of new roots. After 30 minutes, we gently lift the orchid out. At this time, the orchid has absorbed a natural amount of nutrients from aloe vera and oats. These nutrients help provide vitamins, minerals, and organic compounds to help stimulate the formation of young roots, restore green leaves, and increase the plant's resistance. Before planting the orchid, I will sprinkle cinnamon powder directly on the cuts on the orchid. Cinnamon powder is a natural ingredient with very good antibacterial and antifungal properties, helping the cuts dry quickly, preventing bacteria and mold from entering. After disinfecting, I will let the orchid rest for about a day. This time allows the cuts to dry naturally, forming a protective layer against bacteria and fungi. I will use the remaining lemon juice solution to disinfect the moss substrate before planting orchids. We will soak the entire moss substrate in lemon juice solution for about a day to help the solution penetrate deep into each moss fiber, eliminating fungi, bacteria, and insects hiding inside. After a day of rest, the cuts on the orchid have begun to shrink, creating a natural protective layer. This is the most suitable time to plant the plant in a new substrate. Here, I use a pot with many holes to help the orchid roots stay well ventilated. And after a day, we take out the moss and squeeze it dry enough to retain the necessary natural moisture. During the soaking process, the moss has been cleaned, removing most of the fungus and insects, thereby becoming safer and ready to become an ideal environment for replanting orchids. Next, we spread a layer of moss on the bottom of the pot to make a base. This layer of moss helps to retain moisture, creates softness for young roots when clinging, and at the same time supports good drainage, avoiding waterlogging of roots during the recovery process of the plant. Next, we gently place the orchid tip in the middle of the pot so that the base is in direct contact with the moss layer. In the center position, it also helps the orchid have space to grow evenly. The roots can easily spread to all sides and cling tightly to the substrate. After planting, we will use another pot with many ventilation holes to cover it. This method helps to create stable humidity around the plant, while still ensuring air circulation, helping the orchid tip not to be stuffy, minimizing the risk of fungal growth. During this period, we will place the plant in a cool, lightly lit place so that the plant can gradually recover. Every day, if the substrate is dry, we will need to lightly spray with clean water to maintain stable humidity. I will use the remaining aloe vera and oatmeal solution to care for the other orchids in the garden. I will continue to apply the leaf wiping method to care for the orchid. This method is simple but highly effective. Firstly, the solution penetrates directly through the leaf surface, helping the plant quickly absorb the necessary nutrients, supplementing natural vitamins and minerals, thereby gradually making the leaves plumper and greener. Secondly, wiping the leaves also helps remove dirt, bacteria, and fungal spores on the leaves, which hinders photosynthesis and can easily cause disease in the plant. Thirdly, the layer of aloe vera gel when applied to the leaves acts as a thin protective film, keeping the leaves moist, limiting water evaporation, especially useful when the plant is in a weak stage and needs to recover. Thanks to this combination, the orchid is not only nourished from the inside, but also protected from the outside, creating ideal conditions for new roots to sprout and grow strongly again. I will use the remaining nutrients to water directly into the roots and substrate. When watering this way, the nutrients from aloe vera and oats will penetrate deep into the substrate, helping the orchid roots to absorb easily, stimulating the young roots to grow stronger. At the same time, the solution also has the effect of improving the living environment in the substrate, supplementing natural moisture, limiting the growth of fungi, and creating conditions for the plant to recover completely. Then, we put the tree back in its ideal environment in the garden for it to continue growing. After about 4 weeks of persistent care, we will take the orchid out to check the recovery process. As you can see, the orchid leaves have started to turn green again. The surface is shiny and full of life, no longer wrinkled and wilted like before. This is a very positive sign that the plant is absorbing nutrients well and gradually recovering strongly. Regarding the roots, you can clearly see that the young roots have grown out a lot, big and round and healthy. This is an extremely important sign, proving that the orchid has really recovered, is absorbing nutrients well, and has enough strength to grow strongly in the next stage. Through the positive signs of the plant, we can see that the orchid has recovered well. This is the right time to move the plant to a new, more stable environment, helping the plant continue to grow strongly, firmly rooted, and soon produce new shoots and buds in the future. At this stage, I will use sterilized pine bark as a growing medium for orchids. Pine bark is an ideal growing medium because it is highly breathable, retains just enough moisture, and is especially not as stuffy as some other growing media. When carefully sterilized, pine bark will almost completely eliminate fungi and bacteria, creating a clean, safe environment for young roots to grow healthily, firmly attach and nourish the plant for a long time. I also use a small iron bar, firmly attached to the pot wall and the other end fixed to the orchid stem. This method helps keep the plant steady, avoiding tilting or shaking during the process of young roots forming. When the plant is well fixed, the roots will easily adhere to the substrate, from which the plant quickly stabilizes and grows healthily. What orchid species are you currently growing? Please share in the comments below so I can create in-depth care tutorial videos that are tailored to the characteristics and needs of each orchid species you are growing. After planting, I will cover the surface of the substrate with a thin layer of moss. This layer of moss has the effect of maintaining stable moisture, helping the young roots not to dry out in the early stages of development. At the same time, moss also creates a soft and airy environment, helping the orchid roots to easily penetrate and adhere more firmly to the pine bark substrate below. I will continue to prepare more nutrients from aloe vera and oats to care for the newly planted orchid. I will use a spray bottle, pour in the nutrients, then apply foliar fertilization to care for the orchid. When the solution is sprayed evenly on the leaves, the plant will directly absorb the vitamins, minerals, and natural nutrients from aloe vera and oats. This method not only helps the leaves to be green and healthy, but also supports effective photosynthesis, stimulates the growth of young roots, and increases the resistance of the entire plant. In addition to spraying nutrients on the leaves, I will also water this solution directly on the roots and substrate. This method helps the nutrients penetrate deep into the substrate, providing nutrients directly to the young roots, stimulating strong root growth, firmly clinging to the substrate, and at the same time, maintaining the necessary moisture. The combination of spraying leaves and watering the roots will help the orchid recover completely, become healthy, and grow faster. After spraying, use a soft cotton ball to wipe off any remaining nutrient drops on the leaves to allow the leaves to breathe and absorb better. Then we put the plant back in its ideal environment in the garden so that it can continue to grow. And here is the result of our orchid after 3 months. The leaves of the orchid have become green, shiny, and full of vitality. Not only are the leaves healthy, but the plant also grows strongly. The foliage develops evenly, clearly showing the successful recovery process. This is vivid proof that the orchid has absorbed nutrients well and is ready for the next stage of growth. When the leaves become green and shiny, it also proves that the root system is growing healthily and absorbing nutrients very well. A healthy root system is an important foundation for the orchid to maintain its vitality, nourish the leaves and canopy, and at the same time support flowering, new shoots, and strong growth in the future. The current performance of the plant shows that the care and revival method we applied was completely correct. The lush green leaves, shiny, healthy young roots, and sturdy stems all demonstrate the very good effectiveness of the care process and confirm that the orchid is on the way to a complete recovery and strong growth. If you encounter any difficulties in the process of caring for and growing orchids, do not hesitate to leave me a comment. I am always ready to guide and support you, helping you grow healthy orchids with shiny green leaves and bright flowers, bringing joy and success to your garden. If you find the video useful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so that I have more motivation to share more good techniques on growing and caring for orchids. Goodbye and see you in the next videos.